Welcome to Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Still waiting on Instagram to find a connection. Okay, Instagram has a connection. Alright, so I'm gonna put my gloves on, but before I begin anything, I'm not gonna do what I normally do tonight. I'm going to have a discussion with y'all about weapons before I do anything. Okay? So I'm gonna glove up, and then I'm gonna have a discussion with y'all, and then I'm gonna do a weapons demonstration. Okay? And if anything, I may do some bound fighting tonight, if nothing else, after the demonstration of weapons. Okay? So before we do anything, please do not attempt. Do not attempt. Do not attempt. I have been doing this for years, and I can consider myself a professional, but that doesn't always make it accurate. So, yeah. For myself, I'm a fucking professional, and I know what the hell I'm doing. Whether you want to believe it or not, because I don't have the professional title, that doesn't make it a fact that my experience pretty much triumphs over everybody else's. So I am 49 years old. I have enough experience to teach people, and I've learned a few things that I have been lied about for years about martial arts. So, I've also decided that I was rededicating myself to martial arts. So, bad hip and all, I'm going to get back into what I love doing and what makes me happy. Alright, so let's talk about conventional and standard weapons. Alright, for martial art purposes, this is a standard weapon. It is a sword. Her name is Mulan. I hope y'all like her. It's like a terracotta warrior sword. I forgot what it's actually called. Just go with it. It's called Mulan. This sword does not have a name, but it is a katana. Alright? We will be doing sword demonstrations in a few minutes, but I just want you to understand that these are standard martial art weapons. They are not conventional weapons. They are standard martial arts weapons. This is a custom-made bow staff with pewds on the end, so that you can see it has cushion, so that when I practice with someone, I can tag them and not do severe damage. I also had this handle kind of made, so that you guys can see that. So the handle is just basically for grip. And also remember, in an actual fight, you're not going to be doing that Chitara shit. Alright? Now, this is a hockey stick. This is a conventional weapon. Those three were standard. This is a conventional weapon, but I usually train it as if I was using the Japanese pike. So if you know anything about the pike, most of the time it was used on horseback. And again, you will not be doing that, because no one's going to give you the chance in a real fight. Now, so here's the thing. A conventional weapon is something that was conveniently in your disposal area at the needed time, at the necessary time, and you had to have it. There's not enough light on my face and the computer downstairs. So let's see if that helps. That might have just fucked up everything. But anyway, there's not enough light on my face for the machine. Okay, so anything that you missed, you will be able to find it on my YouTube channel eventually. If everything is clear, it will be Kung Fu Havoc number 2. I will let you know if there's going to be a Kung Fu Havoc Elite or a Grey Wolf channel, as in Echo Fang Grey Wolf, my stage name. Now, being this is conventional, it also has range. So, for you can see me in the light, the computer can't, and I had to move the light so that it could at least be off a frame. Hopefully that makes it a little better. You know what? Okay. So, hopefully the computer will get me. If not, we'll put this right there. Okay, see, now the computer can't see my face. But we have a solution. Whether it's a working solution or not, it's a whole nother ballgame. Not that, that is a comma. We do not want the comma, we want this fucking flashlight. Okay, so now we have a solution. Hang this puppy up here. Motherfucker! Oh, you gotta fucking be kidding me. Okay? Missing a third battery. Damn it. That could only happen to me. That couldn't happen to any damn body else. Oh, crap. Ah, damn it. Backup. Always pays to have a backup plan. It also could pay if I was wearing my glasses so I could see the goddamn battery that's missing. You know, this has been a fucked up ass Friday. Okay? This is honestly, true to God, been a fucked up ass Friday. And this fucking battery is totally fucking invisible. I'll find it after the show. Son of a bitch! You're not gonna believe it. There's the battery. That would explain why I couldn't find the damn thing. Woo! Big spider. Big spider. Oh, Jesus. I did not see you there, fella. You just get off my cell phone and my computer, and we'll be fantastic. We'll be friends for life, I promise. I'm not going to kill you. I know you guys can't see it, but he's a huge boy. Or girl. And he's climbing back up. I cannot tell you what kind of spider are you. Okay. Well, you just stay right there, big guy. We don't have any problems. You're a lot safer with me than you are against me. So hopefully I don't forget that you're there. Real sorry about that. You know, some things you just can't, predict. Okay. So, first, again, do not attempt. Second, watch out for spiders. Thirdly, get your water. Always have your water. And before you train, make sure you have some knowledge of martial arts. Don't just watch a couple of shows and think you're the shit, because it doesn't really work like that. Alright, so one thing you gotta understand, if you're gonna be practicing with anything that can impale you or unalive you, did you want to take all the safety precautions as possible? So do not do this shit. Okay? Do not do that. Anything can go wrong in training. Do not train with blindfolds unless you have been taught by a proper master who is willing to make sure that you're not going to get fucked up. Alright? So this is a sword. What you just saw me do, you will never get the chance to do, but your sword and its sheath is also a weapon. This is conventional. This is standard. Together, they are lethal as fuck in the right fucking hands. Alright? Because you can block and cut, and then you're going to get your shit back. You are not going to block, cut, swing it this way to stab the guy behind you, because in swinging it that way, you might cut yourself. So you don't want to do that. But this is a conventional part of the weapon, and this is a standard weapon. Why do I say that? Because in many tales, whether it be from China, Japan, Korea, or any of the big Asian countries, a lot of warriors use their sheath as well as their sword. Alright? And this thing is wood, so it's pretty durable, except for this just one problem. The person's weapon that I'm blocking. If his weapon is razor sharp, it's going to cut through this thing like a hot knife through butter, which would do no good unless this was in there and I was blocking and then cutting. Because if I'm just blocking with this, there's a good chance that their weapon is going to go through that. And if your teacher isn't teaching you the reality of combat, now you just learned something. Alright? This is wood. This is not steel. It's got a steel tip. It's got a steel middle. So if you don't block that shit perfectly on that, which in the heat of battle, it's almost impossible. It's hard to focus when you're trying to stay alive and trying to get a sword to hit like this end or this end. Let's live in reality, y'all. I'm going to block that shit for sure. I gotta make sure that my hand is nowhere near the sword that's coming down. This shit right here, if I block it right there, it's cutting through there. If I'm going against a samurai, if I'm going against a terracotta warrior with the same kind of sword, it's more than likely this shit right here is gonna get broken. So now that you know that, you will be careful. And you will never be precise enough. I'm not gonna lie about it. I'm not precise enough about it, as you heard me mention that I have to wear eyeglasses sometimes, mostly for reading. But if I'm blocking and you miss this metal, I think you guys can see it. If you miss this little metal piece right there and you come just a hair off, your weapon's gonna go through there. So I'm probably gonna get stabbed. If I block and you come down and you don't hit the metal on metal, you hit straight through the wood, you're cutting through this shit like a hot knife through butter. Whether you have one of these swords or you have a katana. Now, if you're going to train with swords, first, be careful. Second, please have someone who knows what they're doing to teach you. Understand your strikes, understand your blocks, understand your deflections, understand how that shit works. Also understand that if you're not careful, you can lose a limb. Whew! Now you see why you don't do that. This is training at home. You're not going to use that in combat. You're not. I don't care what anybody else says. You're not going to do that. That quick draw, you might use that. But this shit here, you can train at home with that. I don't have a problem with you training at home with that. What I have a problem is if you're going into combat and you think that that's going to happen, no. There's also a possibility that you might cut off your own damn arm. If you notice, my guard is now up. It wasn't up at first. So I can switch hands. Where's my guard? It's not there. Because it's highly possible when I switch hands, I probably would have diced off my fucking arm. So no. Block, block, thrust. Block, block, thrust. Strike, strike, strike. You're going to need to know that shit. Block, block, strike, strike, kick, stab, kick the enemy off, pull back, turn to fight the other guy. Not stab, kick the enemy off, pull out, and do this. It's probably not going to be enough time for you to do that. Alright? Plus, if the blade gets lodged in there, you might as well just go get that guy's sword and take the other guy out. Anyway, there are a lot of things you should not do while training with swords. That there is one of them things. If you're making a movie, cool. Because y'all can admit that that kind of looked cool. My katana's not built to come out like that. That sheath is specifically made to keep that bitch in. So, again, if you're going to fight, you will do that. But you'll have this and this, unless you pretty much do this fucked up shit I'm about to do right now. Now remember, people fight with swords differently. Some people have to fight with two hands. Some people have to fight with one. Those people that can do both are excellent. I can play like I can do both, but honestly, I'm not a big steel guy. I prefer wooden weapons myself. Where the hell did I throw the damn thing? So now you see that happened, and I can't see the sheath at all. Fucking A. You can tell I'm having a really fucked up ass Friday. Shout out to my late uncle. He had a funeral today. Shout out to my Uncle Robert Henry and the rest of his family. I hope you guys are doing well as you go through your sad times. I miss you, Uncle Robert. Alright, this is a katana. Same concept that you just saw with the terracotta sword. You can use this as blocking. Again, this sheath is wood. Look inside. See inside. That shit's wood. So it's not going to be likely that I'm going to get on this steel piece when somebody's swinging their sword at me. I'm not going to be able to come down on that. If I come down in the middle, it's more than likely I'm going to shatter this bitch in pieces. This piece is also steel. So, something that happened to my laptop. That's not good. That is not good at all. somebody's gonna have to reach back out to Best Buy to see what the fuck is going on. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know if this bitch is still recording. We're gonna hit remind me later. And what the fuck is this? Oh dear. Yeah, okay, still recording, so that's good. Anyway, back to the lessons. This is gonna be fucking awesome when he gets up. Anyway, what the fuck? I'm sorry for swearing. There is some serious technical issues coming on here. 1 second. Why? Why are you doing this to me? Come on. Hide Google. Thank you. Give me back my recording. Thank you. I'm sorry. Okay, let's try again. Because you can't make this shit up. Alright, so I've drawn my katana. I can block with the sheath and I can cut with the sword. Or I can block with the sword and I can hit with the sheath. But I'm not going to do severe damage, especially if they're wearing armor. But I can thrust this thing and thrust some more. I can swing it like this. I can defend myself with this. But don't do that. And now you know why. Because also, in doing something like this, I might lose a hand. I can block like this, push off, cut, cut. Or I can block, smack, smack if I don't want to injure or severely unalive the person. But if I'm fighting for my life and I have a katana, I'm pretty much trying to unalive somebody or completely disembowel their ass. So I prefer steel weapons never. I only like training with these bitches because they are safe and dangerous at the same time. They are safe if you are taught properly. They are dangerous if you are not. So, god damn it. So again, this bitch will not quick draw. It is not made for that. This is not your standard katana. This is I guess, like a Highlander prop sword type thing. I bought it from Bubba in Richmond many years ago. Technically, my dad bought it as a birthday gift long before he passed. So, see how hard that is? You want a regular katana and a regular sheath so that you can pull that off. Because what you just saw would have got me killed. Straight the fuck up. I couldn't get this bitch out to save my life. Maybe I loaded it wrong. But see, once it gets in there, it's tight. It's tight as shit. So, yeah. So if I'm trying to use this bitch, I got a problem. If I'm in a real fight with this, I have a problem. Boom, I can block. Boom. Too slow. I'm going to get cut. Straight up, I'm going to get cut. So if that bitch is in there, I better learn how to fight while it's in there. The good news is, if it's in there and somebody comes down, the sword's not going to get broken, hopefully, as the person comes through no matter where they hit the sheath. However, you guys have seen how my night's been going. So, let's just pretend that that didn't happen. So again, you have your draw here. You have your draw here. So you can use either hand. And then you have your same basic swings. You have your strikes. You have your blocks. You have your strikes, which are also blocks. Thrust, thrust, thrust. Swing, 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 swing. And again, unless you're in a movie, you're not going to be doing this shit. See, I put my guard up that time, huh? And my guard's down. That's a force of habit that I have to break. If you also see, the sword's also upside down. The sword should be this way. At all times, your blade, the top end should be up there. Okay? If you're fancy, you can have it this way. I don't recommend it, but I'm also not a big swords guy. So, I prefer my blade this way. Some people do this. Some people do that. I'm not a swords guy. To each their own. Now, if you're going to strike, you're going to strike and strike and strike. 9 times out of 10, if you're using a sword, you probably don't need your legs. You probably don't. But you don't want to do this shit while attempting to throw a kick. Because you will cut off your own damn leg. And that is exactly why I said, when you go to battle, you won't be using any of that shit. You will not sit in real life and do this shit right here. because you're gonna die. Now this katana, again, you can see it's got the little divots in it, and it's got some teeth, so the people down here can see the divots and the teeth. This is basically if somebody tries to put a sword at you and you block it and the sword goes through and you can do this shit, and supposedly, it's bullshit, but supposedly it will break their sword. I am never in my life gonna be that damn fucking precise that someone's gonna thrust at me with a sword, and this specific magic sword from Bubba's is gonna catch that sword in one of these damn slits, and I'm gonna do this and break their shit. If anything, I'm probably gonna catch it, and I'm going to catch it. Because understand, when you're fighting with a weapon, my arm times this weapon is my safety distance. If I'm blocking like this and it goes through, and that sword's as long as my katana, it's gonna probably stab me in the arm long before I can do this and try to break their shit. And if they have a better built sword, I could do this and break my shit. So live in reality. Alright? Live in reality. If you're gonna train, train carefully. Please train carefully. But understand that shit does happen. You know, I'm gonna try something stupid now. After I drink this water. Because I don't think, oh shit. I am not having a good day. I'm pretty sure this sword is not sharp. Guaranteed it didn't cut it at all. Let's find out. Not a cut. Not a mark on it. Not a cut, not a mark, nothing. Just my initial. So again, if you're gonna train, you gotta be careful. So like I said, this is like a prop sword anyway, so there was no actual ability to cut this shit. Will it cut a person? Probably. But it shouldn't, because it's a prop sword. But I will be the first to tell you, as an actor, accidents happen on movies all the fucking time. And sometimes people don't make it. So just kind of remember that. You have to be careful when you're training. You have to be careful when you're practicing. You have to be careful at all things in life. But when you're training specifically with any kind of weapon that can unalive you, you need to be careful. I'm done with katanas. I also have no idea what time it is. Okay, it is 9:25, so I'm not going to keep you guys much longer. But understand, this is a movie sword. I'm never going to feature it. It's one of the last gifts my father gave me before he passed, so I would like to keep it in one piece. Alright? As far as this thing is, I bought this myself downtown here in Charlottesville at a Chinese store, but it was ran by a white dude and a black chick. So, yeah. Again, it's probably a prop sword. We're gonna pray it's a prop sword. Can it cut shit? We're not gonna attempt to find out. Okay. Now let's go to the bow staff that I made myself here. Alright, so in the Army, we fought with pugils, Q-tips. I haven't forgotten you, Fagin. Okay? Much love, brother. Delta forever, but I ain't forgot you. Just so that you know. You cheated, but you still won. So I'll take that ass whooping, but don't forget that you cheated with one of these things, which was a lot bigger in the Army. In the Army, they're like made out of PCP pipe, PVC pipe, whatever the fuck that shit the plumber brings to your house to fix your toilet when it's overflowing and stuff. Anyway, so they're also longer than this in the Army. I know you guys are probably having a problem seeing it because it's black and I don't have enough light, or the light's not in a proper spot. So here's your close-up. Yeah, so this handle, if I unscrew these things, then I can pop it off. But I thought the shit looked cool when I made it, so therefore these puff pieces, I needed some noodles from like the Dollar Tree, but I didn't have them at the time, so I found like car insulation stuff and a fucking bunch of electrical tape. That's why they look kind of fucked up. Okay, I would like to remake them one day. I just don't have the time right now. School's keeping me busy. I actually have a project that I'm supposed to be doing instead of doing this. So you're not gonna get to do this shit in an actual fight. So while you're at home training like this, it's fine. This will help your hand-eye coordination, but that's about it. You're also not gonna be doing this shit. Again, training at home is fine, but you get into a real fight, that's the last thing you need to do. You need to have your shit at the ready. Boom, 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 boom. Block, 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 strike, strike, thrust, strike. Yeah, you're gonna do more of that than you will ever do of this shit right here. And always keep your guard up. I have a bad habit of dropping my guard. I'm sure everybody who does martial arts has noticed. If you've been watching my videos, when I'm training with weapons, I drop my guard a fucking lot. I'm gonna own this shit. I drop my guard a fucking lot. But again, now you see why you don't do that. Because if you get into a fight and you get that thing up there, you leave yourself open to a strike. If my shit's up here, and you're right here at the ready, while my dumb ass is doing this shit, trying to be Shitara from Thundercats, boom! That shit's gonna hit, boom! I'm gonna drop my stick, and I'm probably gonna get dropped. Because even though these things are padded, they still hurt like shit. Understand that shit. They still hurt like shit. So if I'm trying to show off, block, block, now let me Shitara that shit. The second, did I get that bitch up here? A wise warrior has a whole lot of options in striking me. Because it's up here. It's whirling around looking all cute and sexy and shit. And all of this is open. All of this is open. And more importantly, my entire center line is open. So I'm up here doing this shit. He's going to pull a Fagin. Yeah, Fagin, I haven't forgotten you. And this shit down here, boom! Right in the private spot. Like Fagin. And then I'm going to drop like a sack of shit. Like I did when Fagin did that shit to me. And then Drill Sergeant, God damn it, what is his fucking name? It wasn't Amber, it wasn't a misguide. Drill Sergeant Hayes. Shout out to Delta Company, Fort Benning, Georgia. So Drill Sergeant Hayes just pushed me out off the goddamn training mat. Thought I'd just shout out to them. Those are my family. Anyway, understand, strike, 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 block, 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 block. So when you're blocking up here, you're also blocking down there. Because that strike will be up, so you'll block. The other strike will be down, so you'll block. Understand how that works. Block, 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 block. Now, if you can get enough blocks in, you can bat it away, thrust, and then come up with a strike. Not thrust, Shitara that shit, and then strike. No, fuck that shit. Block, thrust, strike. The thrust is also a strike, just in case you want to wear. So, they're swinging low, you're blocking, you're thrusting. Because you've got them open. When you block their stick, you've pushed it out, which gives you time to come up, or you can thrust. So block, thrust, or block and then strike. Or block, and then strike. Or block low, block high, then swing. You know, understand how the bow staff works. This is great training at home. I'm going to be Shitara from the Thundercats. There you go. In real life, fuck no. Your weapon's up here, you have problems. Understand that shit. Your weapon's up here and you're whirling it around, you are open to an ass whooping. Understand that shit. Of course, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a lot of flack for this shit, but I'm going to be honest about it, and that's the thing that a lot of people who do martial arts fail to tell you, that there's a difference between fighting and fighting. If you're fighting in real life, you're not going to do that. You keep this bitch at the ready. It's going to protect your center line. Boom, that's a block. Boom, that's a block. Those are high blocks. Boom, that's a block. Boom, that's a block. Those are low blocks. They are protecting my center line from the waist up and from the waist down. Up, down. Now, if I can get in, I block and I strike, that's one. Or I block and I strike, that's two. I block and I thrust, and then I thrust some more and I thrust some more. And if I want to get nasty, boom, boom. Now, you just saw me kick the pad. With 9 times out of 10, as I said with the sword, I'll say it with this. This is my safety range. My arm times how far I can get this damn stick out. So however far I can get that stick out, that is my safety range. You need to know your safety range with every weapon that you choose to use. If your teacher's not teaching you that, go to a new school. Because either your teacher doesn't know it, or your teacher's just there to take your money. I'm going to tell you right now, that there is as far as I'm going to do that. This thing gets to the ground, that's movie shit. Couldn't even get it up. Let's try it again. That was perfectly placed on my foot. So, you roll the stick forward and kick it up. Again, that's movie shit. In real life, if somebody throws you a stick, don't miss it. If they're throwing the stick and you catch it that way, get battle ready. Block, block. So block up here, block down there, strike, thrust, kick, thrust. You'll figure it out. But you're not going to do this. See, I dropped my guard. You're not doing that shit in a fight. You're not. Making a movie, that looks cool. It's fine. Real life, you're going to get fucked up. Okay? Remember that in real life, you're going to get fucked up. So you don't want to do that. And now let's get to the hockey stick. Alright. So what you can do with a bow staff, you can still do with a hockey stick. Minus my electrical tape that's coming off. And for further reference, once again, my arms times the end of this stick and how far I can get this bitch out there. That's my saving grace. Because if I can get this bitch way up here and still maintain control with one or both hands, then I'm in good shape and you're going to get fucked up. If I can't, well, I'm going to get fucked up. Now think about the stick. Boom, it's a hockey stick. You do not have to swing it like a bow staff. You can swing this bitch like a baseball bat. You can swing this bitch just like a regular ass stick. Boom, boom. You can high stick someone. That was for all the hockey fans. Go Penguins. And you're not going to be doing this shit again. Ow. And now you know why. That hurt. And yes, I just Casey Jones the fuck out of my shit. So now you see why you won't do that. So this shit here, it's movie shit. You're going to fight like this. Strike, 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 strike. Block, 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 block. You're going to protect your center line at all times. You are not going to be doing this shit. Now I'm going to go put this hockey stick and these two swords up. And then we're going to do some bound fighting, no weapons required. Not going to do blindfold, just going to do bound fighting, just so that you guys can get another dose of the same old bullshit that I've done before. So, we're going to do that. Oh yeah, I also have a smaller version of this little stick thingy. Turn this light around so that I don't step into the animal crap. These are also conventional weapons. They're not standard, they're conventional, so you can always use your set of keys to hurt people. If you have long keys, I recommend you do this versus trying to make brass knuckles because you'll probably break your hand. And FYI, on a personal note, so that you'll all understand one thing if you don't understand anything else tonight. The human hand is the easiest thing to break on the human body. Unless somebody has a glass jaw. Alright? So, we're going to do a review before we go through the bound fighting process. We will not be doing blindfold. Now, understand. more than likely you will never in your life, ever in your life, outside of making a movie, ever have to do this shit. Where's that fucking spider? Ah, shit. I do not see him. Okay, found him. Found him. Found him. I'm not afraid of spiders, I'm afraid of roaches. Especially the ones that can fly, like at fucking Fort Benning. Okay, so we're going to review your blocks in front first, and then behind. Right, and then we're going to do what you can do behind first, and then in front. Now understand your blocks in front are a lot easier. You have a better chance of surviving versus your blocks in back. And again, please do not fucking attempt. I should not even have to keep telling people this, but at the same time, there's always going to be somebody who wants to be a badass. They think they can do this shit. But I've been doing this shit since I was 12 years old. So I got trained how to fight with my hands tied at 12 years old. It's a long story, but it was the last year that my uncles and them made me fight kids on the street. So there you go. Also, if you took capoeira, they probably taught you how to fight with your hands bound. Not gonna swear to it, but I know that in the ancient times when it was just slaves doing capoeira, they had their chains on their ankles and their feet. So, well, their ankles and their wrists. So understand that bound fighting is a thing, but you will more than likely never use it in your lifetime. So I just want to get that out the way. But if you're going to train with bound fighting, please find a professional. Find someone who has some military training. Find someone who actually knows how to do this shit. And if you're going to field test this shit, please don't. Now, the only reason why I said that is because when I had the opportunity to field test it, I didn't. And I probably should have, but then we wouldn't be having this conversation because my ass would be sitting in jail. So long story, I'll make a story time video on this after the live is over. And if it gets posted, it gets posted. If not, I'll post it eventually. So here we go. So first, because I forgot what the fuck I said, we're going to do bound fighting in the front blocks and then bound fighting in the back blocks. That didn't come out right, but go with it. So your blocks with your hands tied in front of you are a hell of a lot easier, and you're going to have to learn how to work together as a team with your hands. Your fighting in the back really is based on your flexibility, or if you're a contortionist, which I have neither. I am not a contortionist, and I don't have a lot of fucking flexibility. Alright? But you have your high right, your medium with lead, and your low. Okay? Got that? Same on the left, high left, medium with knee, and low. Now, why is that easier? Because you can see everything coming, and you can make a circle and protect your center line. Alright? Now, backside, not so much. See my range of motion? I can block this way, but I won't be able to elbow block or do anything. And if this fails, and they sweep this foot, I'm going down, and I could land and break my arms. Which is another reason why you should probably never try this shit. But if you're making a movie and you have a good stunt team, I need a job, so if you guys are available, let's go. You can do that. Same thing on this side. You know, block with your leg, block with your wrist. If you have enough flexibility, you can protect your head. I don't have that, so this is bad. Alright, so we're going to start with, since my hands are already back there as I pick this fucking wedgie out my ass. I keep it real, y'all. Keep it 100. Anyway, as I've done this before, I hope you've paid attention. If my door to escape is on my right, that's my left, I'm sorry. On my right, I'm going to kick my enemy to my left. I'm going to keep this shit as basic as possible. So I'm going to do an outside to inside crescent kick, which means he's coming at me, which means you are my enemy. Boom! I've kicked him in this direction, and I'm going in this direction. Why is that? Because my hands are fucking tied, and I'm not trying to die. If my escape is on this side, and you are the enemy, and you are charging, same kick, opposite leg, inside to outside is not going to work because it puts him in my line of fire for getting out, where outside to inside clears me for an escape path. So he's coming. Boom! He's going this way because I kicked him as hard as I could in that direction. I'm going in this direction because it's going to save my life, especially if I'm not a good fighter. Now, let's say I fuck up. He's coming this way, and I do an inside-outside crescent kick. I fucked up, and I'm going to have to engage this bastard. So you're coming, boom! That's an inside-outside. I put him between me and my escape vector. You don't want to do that, because now I have to engage this dude, which means I'm going to have to find a way to block and protect myself. And in most cases, it's more than likely not going to work out in my favor. So you have to be ready for that. Now, if he tries to grab my leg, boom! I can knee him in the face, but I got to make sure there's enough power behind that knee that he goes down and that I don't. So I also have to plant that bitch precisely, or I'm going to get fucked up. Alright? So you have to remember that shit. Everything has to be precise. Same mistake on this side. Door's over there, and I'm nervous and I am scared as I dig this wedgie out my ass yet again. And I kick him with an inside to outside crescent kick, putting him in the direction of where I have to go, which is a big fucking no-no. Boom! Now I have to engage him. And if he's not out or down, it's a fucking problem. Alright? So understand, know where you are, know where your exits are. Kick your enemy away from your exit. Now I'm going to give you your third option. So first you want to make sure that you keep basic kicks. Alright? So if he's coming at me, boom! I can front kick him and then I can go anywhere I want if and only if I level his ass. If I don't level his ass, I'm going to have to engage. I don't want to engage with my hands tied behind my back. Now watch this. A good run is better than a bad stand unless you're trapped in a room and you need to get out. Just like I need this wedgie to get out. Anyway, if you have to run, you run. But if you can't run because your hands are tied and you run just like I did, which makes you look like a sloppy chicken, you're going to have to engage this person. You need to understand, your real only assets are your feet and your knees. And you're going to need to know how to use those damn things. And you can't be doing this fancy shit that might get me fucked up. Now, reverse tornado kick. It throws off your balance. Jumping spin kick. Now you see why you're not going to do that. Because I almost bit the dust. You're not going to do that with your hands tied behind you. This throws off your balance by about 70%. Not 30%, not 20%, 70%. I am 127 pounds. Period. Just found out about 2 weeks ago when I got weighed and I got my freaking tetanus shot. Wish they could do something about this damn wedgie. But anyway, this has been a bad night. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry about giving y'all personal information about my wedgie on fucking Instagram. Anyway, the whole point of the matter is, you aren't going to be doing fancy shit. You're not going to be doing a tornado kick, which, as you can see, is not happening. Now, all that's going to change when my hands get in front of me, and I will show you that. But I want you to understand that when your hands are behind your back, your balance is off. Your balance is way the fuck off. 70%, I said that because, give or take, most of your balance when you're walking forward is pretty accurate. If you try walking backwards sometimes, you stumble more than when you walk forward and stumble, unless you're just fucking clumsy. And if you're fucking clumsy, may God have mercy on your soul. Sorry. Nobody likes a truth teller. But I'm going to tell you the truth. I'd rather have no friends on here than have you go somewhere, attempt this shit, and get fucked up. And the first thing you'll say is, oh, well, I saw Echo Fang Grey Wolf do that shit, and it was looking pretty good. But you also don't see a fucking training partner out here. So, then we're going to the front. Again, you already know your blocks. High right, high left, medium right, medium left, medium with knee, low, low. Okay, so you already know that. Now, pay attention. Because these are also, don't do it. Here's your reverse tornado kick. Looks better, right? Here's your jumping spin kick. Right? Here's your damn tornado kick. Okay. Got off a frame on the live show, but point being made, that worked out a hell of a lot better with my hands tied in front of me, right? Okay. It's not because I'm a genius. It's because I've been doing this since I was 12 years old. And I know what the fuck's gonna work and what's not. Everything you just saw me do, it's not gonna work. Look good though, right? It's not gonna work. Why is it not going to work? Pop quiz. My feet left the ground. In any fight, when your feet leaves the ground, both feet, you are vulnerable in the air. Alright? You don't have to believe me. You don't have to like me. I don't give a fuck. You are vulnerable in the air. Jumping spin kicks and shit work great in the movies. Ask some motherfuckers from the UFC. They'll tell you, you can pull it off, but can you connect? And what happens if you miss? You have to take that shit into consideration. There have been people who have pulled off in fight combat and arena combat. You can watch them all on YouTube or whatever. And there have been people who have pulled them off and have connected. The problem is, you're not always going to get lucky. And part of a fight is being lucky and the other part is being skillful. There's a third part. Praying that you fight somebody who's not as lucky or as skillful as you. Alright? So if they're coming at you, you have a better chance of engaging now. But if you are not a good fighter, you don't want to engage. If your door's over there, you want to kick them over there. So they're coming at you, boom! Same motherfucking kick. He's going that way, you're going that way. They're coming at you, your door's not over there, your door's over there. He's coming at you, boom! So you kick them in that direction, and now you can go this way. If the same thing on the other side, if your door's over there, you know, you don't want to kick them in the way of the door. Now, if you really want to be smart, you want to keep them right here. So let's say you have a door there or a door there. Either door is an exit, but you still got to deal with this dude. You can deal with him this way, is you can block and strike, or you can block and try to choke him by pushing this under his neck. There are a lot of options you can do with this thing right here now. Now, the question is, how much space do you have? See, here I have plenty of space. Now, not so much. So now I have a problem. Now I have to be able to work this shit together. Boom, boom, boom. You know, boom, boom, boom. I need to be able to work that shit together. Blocks, I need to be able to work it together. It's a hell of a lot easier to do it with this shit in front of you versus behind you. The guy's coming, boom, boom, boom. You know, you got him. You're going to keep him engaged, and then you want to use this rope, so you want to get behind him, put it behind his neck, put your knee in his back, and reel back. Yes, I probably shouldn't be saying that, but I'm 5'3". If you're bigger than me, I'm going to hurt you. Why? Let me take it back to when I said, I'm 5'3". The bigger you are, the harder I got to work, which means I got to fuck your shit up. Without question, God, I hope that's not a spider. Ah, fuck. This just isn't my day. It's not the same spider from earlier, but it's still a fucking spider. So, again, block, strike, boom, boom. I'm keeping him away from my exit. Alright? Same thing on this side if my exit's over there. Block, strike. God damn it, what the fuck? I must have hit a nest or something. Sorry, y'all. Spider attacks are real. I hope this damn thing's not in my hair. Sorry. This has been a really fucked up ass live. I swear to God it has been. Damn it. That spider web in my eye? Okay, back to action. So, you gotta work it out. So block, strike, strike. In case you do crane kung fu, now you know what that is. In case you do Wing Chun, block, strike, your line punches. You know, block, strike, strike. You know. Now, for those who are still here, before I end the live, I'm going to talk about the tiny differences of kung fu and karate. So, we're going to do no more of this bound fighting shit. Okay? We're going to talk serious now. Your positioning especially if you've done multiple martial arts, your positioning will decide what martial art you're going to use at the time. All right? And the reason why I say that is because 9 times out of 10, when you are engaged in battle, do you really think you have time to remember, are you doing Kung Fu or Karate? No. You have time for one thing and only one thing, and that is survival. Sure, a lot of martial artists haven't taught you about that, but I'm going to teach you the truth. So, a lot of Kung Fu, boom, I strike, boom, I strike, and I close my hand. A lot of karate is I block and I counter. I block and I counter, which means this guy can block and counter. Where Kung Fu, or Kempo as well, because I do both, I'm going to block and break and strike, which means you're going to throw a punch. I'm going to get over here, better yet, I'm going to get where I can put one wrist here and one hand here. I'm going to be on your outside. I'm going to pull your wrist and I'm going to push your elbow until that bitch pops. And if I'm lucky, I'm going to break this bitch all the way through. It should shut down your hand. Alright? Now, here's the reality of that. I got to do it fast enough in case you're stronger than me. If you're not stronger than me, then I got a fighting chance. If you are stronger than me, I got to put enough power behind that shit, so if I'm blocking and I can't break, I'm going to lower you down to where I can use the closest knee and put my knee between my two hands. And I'm going to push your elbow with my hand and my knee inside your forearm, and I'm going to pull your wrist. And I'm going to snap that bitch. Your arm's going to break. After it breaks, I'm going to slide up your neck, and I'm going to punch you in whatever side of your neck that I'm standing on. And why do I say this? Because the bigger you are, the harder I have to work. That also means I get to hit you much harder, which also means you're probably going to hit me pretty hard too. But if I break your arm, it's going to slow this fight down into my favor. But when I punch you in the throat, it's more than likely going to put the fight to a complete halt, because a person who can't breathe can't hurt you. Okay? Now, I know a lot of people are going to be a little sensitive about that, and I don't really give a fuck. But the truth of the matter is, it's you or it's me. It's not going to be me. And I'm going to teach you something else before I end the live. I'm more conventional in standard shit. Mostly it's conventional. So this bottle of empty water is not as dangerous as this bottle of full water. Alright, so I could do more damage with this because it's full. There's just one problem. It's still flimsy. Alright? So I could beat your ass with this, but I'm taking a chance. Alright? I want to hit you in the throat. I want to hit you in the sternum. I really don't want to hit you in solid muscle, because all I'm going to do is piss you the fuck off. So, that's not going to work. I might hit you just above the knee. Might hit you in the funny bone. But I want to use it in places that I know this shit's going to work. But, you know, this is puree water. They should give me a job. But, in case they don't, there's always hope for Gatorade. Alright. Now, as you know, Gatorade is thicker plastic. So, under the arm, in the throat, in the sternum, in the knee, you're going to feel it a lot more with this Gatorade bottle than you're going to feel it with this full bottle. Now, the thing is, this Gatorade bottle is empty. Hear the sound? Now, this sounds more solid only because it's full. Now hear the sound of the empty one. That's not going to do anything but piss people off. The full one's going to be a little bit more dangerous, but it's not going to have the power behind this thicker plastic Gatorade bottle. So understand your conventional and your standard weapons. Both of these are conventional. They were necessary at the time. Alright? And you're going to need that. Because, one, I don't have a gun. But I also don't need one. Because I know what the fuck I'm doing. Everything that I touch, I can probably hurt somebody with, if not unalive their ass with. I just got to be better than they are. I have to be faster than their defense. I've got to be stronger than their defense. And I got to be, most importantly, I got to be smarter than their defense. No one on earth thinks that someone's going to beat them with a bottle of water. And nobody better make a movie about that shit, because you don't have my permission, because I just showed you that shit right here on Instagram and down here. So, don't do that. Unless you're going to give me the job so I can actually show you how it's done. Alright? Now, if you don't want to give me the job, that's fine. That's acceptable. But don't make the movie using it either, or I'll get to sue the fucking brakes off your ass. Now, here's the thing. I started off in karate when I was 7. I switched over to Kung Fu, Gung Fu, Wing Chun, and Kempo, and Taekwondo in my teenage years. Because I'm a small person, and Kung Fu generally works better for smaller people. So does Taekwondo. Now, I have a rule of thumb. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. But it's my opinion and it's my rule. If I'm going to teach you, I will teach you by height and gender. Alright? Women, you have no limit on the martial arts that you can do unless you're over 6'2". And yes, there are some tall-ass women out here. So, everything under 6'2" for women, I would only teach Kung Fu, maybe some Taekwondo. If you're a guy, if you're 6'1" and above, Kung Fu can show you a little love, but you're better off doing more Japanese and Korean styles, mostly because your height and your range of motion, and it'll be a lot easier for you to be able to manage it, where when you're doing Wing Chun and Gung Fu, if you guys can see me out, your Gung Fu kick is right there. I'm short, so if you try to kick me, I can kick it and then kick you. So I'll be able to faster counter your kick. Now, you have to be pretty fast for a tall guy to do that. The good news is, you will have range. Alright? But Kung Fu, I want you, as your homework tonight, before y'all mark my video or give me the finger, your homework tonight is to go watch a Kung Fu movie and watch a karate movie. Watch the range of motion when someone's doing Wing Chun versus when someone's doing karate. Alright? Now remember, Kung Fu, you come in, you throw the punch, I block and break, where karate, I block and I counter, and you will block and counter. And we can block and counter all fucking day long if we're both really, really fucking good. Alright? Now, in real life, most fights don't last more than 5 minutes. Alright? And I'm not talking about sporting arena fights. They are paid to go the distance. So you have 3 5-minute rounds or 5 3-minute rounds, depending on what the fucking sporting rule is. So they're paid to go the distance. That's why fights last so long. That's why most athletes do a lot of cardio as well as weight training, because it helps build their fucking stamina so that they can take a beating and still come out on top. Yeah, I am a UFC reject because they didn't believe in small guys fighting back in 1993. And I couldn't get into ISK or any other professional fighting because I'm 5'3". And I couldn't become a professional wrestler because I'm 5'3". They don't count the half. And I'm only 127 pounds. I've been this way for a long time. My highest weight was 145 when I was in the Army at Fort Benning, Georgia, which fucked up my leg. Anyway, the bottom line is really simple. Once you understand how your style works outside the dojo, you're going to change up your shit. And I'm going to close with this. So I hope you like the lesson taught. And if you don't, well, I'm sorry. Let me apologize for failing you. 1. Size in a fight is an obstacle, and obstacles are for killing. 2. Most fights only last 2 to 5 minutes unless it's in a professional setting. 3. Anyone and everyone can get their ass kicked. Don't think that you are invincible. You will find out on your worst day that you are not. So do not go around thinking that you are invincible. Nobody is completely unbeatable. It's just not going to happen. Now, I have another rule of thumb, 70-30. 70% of what you learn in the dojo will only work in the dojo. 30% of what you learn in the dojo will work outside the dojo. And the reason why I say that is because 9 times out of 10, you don't live in Angel Grove. And you're not going to be doing all that jumping spin kicks and shit against putties. You're going to be fighting people who can actually fight you back. You're not fighting a stunt team. You're not getting paid. Alright? So you're going to understand real quick, a punch is a punch and a kick is a kick. And if they hit you right the first time, you're going the fuck to sleep. That doesn't just go for me. It goes for everybody that's teaching martial arts. Alright? I base a lot on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because I suck at it. Alright? So finding ways to stop it from being used against me is my ultimate goal. Because I know I have no ground game. I'll still roll with a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I will definitely tap the fuck out. Because I'm not trying to fucking get my hips fucked up. Because a heel hook and a toe lock, those motherfuckers hurt. Alright? But you understand one or two things. I'm not going to fight you in your fight because I'm going to lose. If I fight my fight, I have a better chance of winning. And if I can sucker you into fighting my fight, I have a better chance of beating you versus me trying to out-muscle you, try to out-fucking power you, out-strength you, try to outdo anything that you can do, I can do better. Throw that shit out the window. Stick with what you know. Stick with basics, and you're going to be fine. Try that fancy shit, you're going to be on your behind. Now, back to my 70-30. 9 times out of 10, you get out what you put in. So if you go to class for an hour and 45 minutes, when you come home, do another one. And if you can't, put in 15, put in 20, put in 30 more minutes. I'm not telling you that you have to follow my rules, but for your own safety, what you put in it is what you get out of it. And if you're not going to give it 100%, you're going to lose. And understand the policy. You guys have to have a class where there is sparring allowed. If there's no sparring in your class, you're not going to learn if you're good or if you're bad. You're not going to learn what needs to be worked on. And I don't think that that's good. I think every martial arts school should at least have 1 day of sparring. And if you don't have that, then you should probably do that. And you should do a lot of mat work. Because a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu I learned in the Army, we spent a lot of time on the motherfucking mat. And I got thrown off of this guy in Delta at least 9 times. And I'm pretty sure he got tired of me headbutting him in his shit. That being said, thank you guys for being here. I greatly appreciate you. I'm Echo Fan Grey Wolf. Peace in you. Thank you guys for being here. And hopefully this will post. Peace in you.